This is all that's left of the light aircraft that burst into flames after crashing into a paddock beside the Bruxner Highway. It hit the ground just 100 metres from a home with a family inside. Debris was scattered across the paddock. Stephen Bilson, who was driving on the highway, was first on the scene.
It's blown apart down there. The engine is metres away from where the impact is, basically, so they hit very hard.
Witnesses say the plane, which might have been approaching Lismore Airport, suddenly dropped, then banked hard left. But within 3 seconds, it hit the ground.
So I don't know if the motor cut out or something, but he just felt like he looked like he was just dropping like a rock.
The bodies of the two on board were in the wreckage, but it was still burning as drivers rushed to help. One woman who stopped had to be treated for shock. 3 fire crews, a hazard chemical team, ambulance and police were all on the scene just after 11. But it took another 2 hours to fully extinguish the blaze. The crash sparked a grass fire which burnt out 400 square metres. And it appears the aircraft might have just passed underneath these power lines before it hit the ground. Police say one of their lines of inquiry is that a trainee pilot and instructor were on board. Officers spent the day combing the field for wreckage.
There's wreckage spread over a considerable area. There has been a reasonably substantial fire following the accident, and so there's some wreckage which is in that fire field, but there's some that's outside of that as well.
The Australian Safety Bureau is sending 4 investigators to the accident site. Christine Tondorf, Prime 7 News.
2 people have died when their light plane crashed this morning. The plane, thought to be a Cessna, came down in a paddock near Lismore in northern New South Wales. Prime reporter Christine Tondorf is there. Christine, what can you see from where you are?
Prime 7 were the first news crew on the scene here, and when I arrived I saw a 50-metre patch of scorched earth still smoking. There were 3 fire units at attendance, along with police, hazmat and ambulance crews. They were still trying to put the fire out. We can't actually see the aeroplane. They've kept us back about 200 metres because they say there are toxic fumes.
Have police given any indication to you who may have been on board that plane?
All police are saying is that 2 people are dead. However, over the police radio we heard chatter that it may be a pilot and an instructor. I did speak to a witness who said that just after 10:15 this morning he saw the aeroplane take off from Lismore Airport, which is only 2 kilometres from this paddock, and the plane suddenly began to bank hard left and then it just dropped from the sky like a rock. He drove to the scene. He said the debris was spread over 30 metres and the plane was still on fire.
And
he declined to comment on the state of the pilot.
And who's in attendance there besides the police at the moment, Christine?
We have ambulance crews, and ambulance crews have just been kept busy, would you believe, treating onlookers. One woman who saw the accident collapsed to the ground. We still have hazmat crews here, as I said, 3 rural fire service units and half a dozen police cars.
Prime reporter Christine Tondorf near Lismore, thank you very much for the update.